Hello YouTube! There's 17 here, but you can just call me Travis. And welcome back for another collection update. I don't have anything to get into before we get into the music, so let's just get into the music. Alright, in the background we're listening to Breaking the Spell by Sign of the Jackal, an awesome 2018 release that I didn't listen to in 2018 enough, and really dropped the ball on that one, because this is a really killer new wave of traditional heavy metal band. This release just is excellent. Awesome riffs and vocals and solos and everything you'd want. They're out of Italy, so yeah, definitely listen in the background. If you like it, check it out, because it's awesome. I'll leave a link, as I always do. Alright, first up, yeah, this is almost definitely my current, right now, favorite album of 2019 so far. Obviously, we're only just, almost 2 months in only, but that being said, that's like, what, 1/6 of the year, I guess we'll say, so it's not nothing. So yeah, here it is. This is From Fortune to Ruin by Nightfyre. This is a new wave of traditional heavy metal band out of Germany. This is, I think, their debut release. At least it's the only one that I'm aware of. Anyway, awesome stuff. Really, the thing that I think that makes this band super excellent is the riffs. There's just awesome riffs throughout all of the songs. Yeah, just really, really excellent stuff. Actually, would sort of, if I had to compare this band to any one single band, I would sort of compare them to Night Demon, and sort of their song construction. They're very kind of like, this is a misnomer in terms of the word usage here, but I'm going to use it anyway. They're sort of rock bands like. I don't know. That's just the way it feels to me. Anyway, good stuff. Sort of like how Night Demon is, and because one thing that's interesting about this band is that, I'll get around to what I'm saying. So what I like about Night Demon is that there's oftentimes that I will hear something that clearly to me sounds like something that is Iron Maiden influenced in terms of their music, and I feel the same way about Nightfyre, but in that sometimes there are times when I clearly feel like they're influenced by Metallica. In particular, there's a sort of a main riff that they use during the verses, but it's like a bridge between vocal stanzas. So they'll do a riff along with the vocals, and then in between the next part where there's no vocals, they have the riff, and it's so Metallica sounding. And actually, even at times, I feel like the guy sings sort of like James Hetfield. I don't know. This album is really, really excellent. The solos are pretty solid. The vocals are enjoyable. The guy doesn't have a great voice or anything, but definitely it works super well with the music. It just really works well. Out on Charming Man Records, which I think might be a German label. I'm not totally sure, but I think so. Just awesome stuff. Really, really enjoy this. I've been listening to this album. I think I just got in the mail, I don't know, Thursday or Friday. And I've been listening to this album just pretty much almost non-stop. It's just super excellent. All the songs are awesome. Just super rocking. And yeah, definitely check it out. Alright, next up, I did an awesome order with Out of Season, and these are some of the things I got. Let's start off with this one. This was an artist I was not familiar with prior, but it was Dungeon Synth is primarily the thing that Out of Season releases, and just sort of reading about this artist and the names and stuff like that sort of gave me a Cobbled vibe, so sort of wanted to jump at it just in case it was awesome like Cobbled. This release is called Ice Golem, and actually, forgive me, I feel like the title actually isn't on here. It's something like, oh yeah, here it is. It's entitled Roman numeral 1, Quest to the Ice Castle. Comes with this poster here, which I'll probably do nothing with, but that's cool nonetheless. It says a fantasy RPG, Ice Golem, used with cassette deck, Ancient Metal Records. It's just the album art. Anyway, we'll listen to this one time. It definitely is similar to Cobbled, and that it is dungeon synth that is sort of influenced by sort of a video gamey 8-bit sound. But this actually is much more primitive sounding. To me, it's much more like a chip. I don't know. I don't really listen to this genre, so I can't really talk about it intelligently. But it sounds really much more like a chip-tuney kind of sound to me, which I don't know. It was okay. I didn't really super get much out of this, but it was whatever. Maybe someone else can listen to this and be super into it. I thought it was interesting here in the cassette here, right here. It says. This cassette was found near the icy mountains and brought to the ancient meadows. What secrets will you find? Anyway, kind of just an interesting listen to, since I don't really listen to a whole lot of stuff that sounds like this. But, I don't know, that wasn't anything I wasn't super impressed with. But, I did enjoy it aesthetically. So yeah, that's Ice Golem with, 1 Quest to the Ice Castle. Next up, this is the 4th release by this artist, one of my favorite dungeon synth artists. This is 4 by Fief. Fief being probably, I would say other than Cobbled, who is clearly my winner of all time. Fief is probably number 2 favorite. It comes in this cool yellow set with the obviously clear so you can see the inside of the cassette. Awesome stuff. I would say actually this is probably my least favorite of all of the Fief releases so far, but it's still pretty good. No complaints at all or anything. I actually really like this album cover. And I like the yellow. I think the yellow is really cool looking too. The overall aesthetic with the Fief is really nice. And let's actually just jump into the next one since they're related. I also picked up first time out on the season doing this, which pumped me up. This is 1 through 4 Fief, a compilation which contains all 4 of Fief's releases up to now. Obviously titled 1, 2, 3, and 4. Awesome album cover too, by the way. I like this album cover a lot. And yeah, anyway, first time out of season goes hardcore. Gets a double CD release going on here. So that's pretty hardcore. Obviously, number 1, number 2 are on disc 1, and then 3 and 4 are on disc 2. As you can see here, is the track listings. It actually might be putting out, this might actually be also put out through Foreign Sounds as it lists here on the back, but not sure on that. But anyway, I got it throughout the season, and so I know that they are definitely involved, clearly. Let me pull up the liner notes here for you. Anyway, cool stuff. If you're not previously familiar, Fief previously released 1 and 2 as single releases, and then later on they were combined as 1 and 2 together, and then number 3 was released on its own last year, and then as like I just showed you, number 4 it came out last year but was obviously just released this year. Again, here's the cover, here's the inside. It kind of shows the 4 different releases here, and then here's the back image. So anyway, cool stuff. Very very happy to support the CD coming out on the season. Hopefully they will. I don't know how it did, but hopefully it sold pretty well, and that CD might be something that they will consider in the future as pretty much everything I think, like I said, this is their first CD release, so pretty much everything that they've done, and really the dungeon synth genre as a whole, has largely been pretty much cassette only, which is fine, I guess, but I prefer CD, so very happy to get this, and just makes it very convenient to listen to this artist. So yeah, 1 through 4 by Fief. All right, before we move on to the next one, actually, I forgot to show this, and I think actually I received this because I don't actually know why, but I think the CD was delayed for whatever reason, and so anyone who ordered the CD, their orders were delayed in shipping, so he threw in this poster, which is of the album art for the 1-4 release, and actually it's a limited poster out of 100. Mine's number 76 written here in gold. So I thought that was cool. Alright, next up, this is another 2019 release. Awesome stuff. This is actually a band, I want to say maybe number 20 album of 2018 for me. They had. This is the second, maybe it's actually third, full-length album released by this artist. This is My Deathbed. This is a band out of Greece, one-man project, a guy under the name of Void. It's kind of a sort of a DSBM sort of a thing going on here. His self-titled release, My Deathbed, like I said, was my number 20, I think, album of last year, and he really hits it out of the park going on this year. This is a one-track album. I think it's like something like 48 minutes long. This is, what's the name of this album? It's Confession, Depression of Mirrors. Man, I really should know the album title. I'll pop it up right here if I can aim it. I'm good at this shit now. Anyway, limited to 50 copies on CDR. Mine's number 19 of 50. Man, the guy really just like does an awesome job on this. It definitely has a lot more kind of like DSB, not a DSBM. That's definitely a part of this. But yeah, it's kind of lots more kind of a doomy properties to this release, which I really enjoyed, and I really felt like I did a good job of making the DSBM aspects of the band really shine. The vocals on this are awesome. At times he has sort of like a Natram, is that the guy's name? At a silencer, just kind of like super like tortured wails that just like do awesome in terms of making that DSBM stuff really awesome. Especially like I think it's around like 12 minutes. Awesome section of riffs comes in, which leads into like just wailing, just awesome stuff. Love this release a lot. It doesn't really sound like a bunch of like pieced together sections to make a whole 48-minute long song. It actually does, I think, a really good job of transitioning from piece to piece to piece. It doesn't actually really sound like it's transitioned like a piece to piece. It just sounds like a good, solid 48-minute journey through hell. Like, awesome stuff. If you at all checked out this band before and were into it, I suggest you check out this too, because it is super awesome. And even at 48 minutes long, I've listened to this a ton of times. So yeah, finally happy to grab the official hardcore or hard copy version of this. So yeah, here's a clip. One more for us before we get out of here. This is actually a release that I sort of always I was under the impression that it was like a compilation release of just like tracks that I'd already had or heard, and so I sort of brushed it off. But I had been listening to this artist a lot recently, and I discovered, I was totally wrong. This has a bunch of tracks I've never heard before. And anyway, this is a album entitled, it's not an album, it is still a compilation album, but it's a compilation of unreleased tracks and stuff. This is Nightmares at Dawn by Xasthur. Like I said, I've been listening to a ton of Xasthur so far in 2019. And I think because there's 3 songs on here, Prison of Mirrors, Screaming at Forgotten Fears, and Suicide Dark Serenity, which are like reworked versions. And so I think I always thought this was excuse me. So I think I always thought that this was just a compilation of other stuff that I had already heard before. Anyway, so I got to looking at it. And no, there's tons of stuff I've never heard, and there are just three songs of the reworkings, and there's a cover on here. Otherwise, it's all brand new stuff. So that means 14 tracks on here total. So outside of those 4, 10 new Xasthur tracks. So I was like, damn, I need to get this thing immediately. So I ordered it, came in, and this is actually a really interesting listen, because what this really is it's just kind of like stuff that he had collected over the years, experimental stuff, you know, maybe stuff like it says in the liner notes here, like maybe it's just something like he got a new piece of equipment, or he wanted to try out a new vocal style or a new whatever, and so it was sort of just like a mishmash of like random things. I really thought it was interesting, especially in the vocal department. There's like clean vocals on here. You can tell he's trying to work with different things. I don't know. Some of them might be like kind of like scratch track kind of things. You know, just kind of like a vocal thing in there to sort of like see what it sounds like to maybe record other parts. But not all of it's going to be that. And so I thought it was really just an interesting listen, because I wouldn't consider this like an album at all or anything. But it was just like a cool experience to go through. Here's some kind of tracks here in Malefic or Scott or whatever you want to say, working on some stuff, you know, trying different things out. I just think it's really cool, kind of interesting, not non-typical listen. Anyway, kind of cool stuff. I always enjoy when he has the logo with the dripping down. I think it looks cool that way. Anyway, nothing else really to add about this, other than the cover he did is of the Black Sabbath's The National Acrobat, which is kind of an interesting cover. And yeah, the only other thing I would add is that all three of the different songs that he reworks, I dislike all three of them comparatively to their original versions, and it might be because they're the original versions, but regardless, I don't like them as much, so that's that. Anyway, Nightmares at Dawn, a compilation release from Xasthur, American US DSBM black metal. That's all I got for this week, so thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you're familiar with any of the releases that I've shown here today, please let me know what you think of them, and otherwise, have a fantastic day.